Okay. Picture this. There's this massive, really revolutionary shift happening, but it's like completely under the radar. You might be hearing about Bitcoin prices, maybe the latest regulations, but honestly, there's something deeper, more profound transforming finance. It feels almost like the early internet, just quietly becoming this invisible force powering, well, everything. So this deep dive is all about how crypto infrastructure, and we're talking the underlying tech, the rails, the systems, is quietly becoming the backbone for all sorts of things, from how you might trade stocks maybe to how creators actually make money online, and even just how people send money across borders. It's like less about the specific coins now and much more about the tech itself, the clever stuff underneath. Yeah, our mission today is really to pull back the curtain on what our source calls this stealth takeover. We're going to look at the tangible ways this infrastructure is being put to work, often without users even noticing it, and what that really means for how we interact with money, with digital services every single day. You'll see this isn't some future thing.
It's happening like right now. For all its history and perceived stability, traditional finance still has some pretty obvious user experience problems, doesn't it? I mean, just trying to open a brokerage account can still feel like this huge paperwork marathon.
Oh, but definitely.
And international transfers, they can take days sometimes, cost a fortune in fees, and you're sort of left wondering where your money actually is.
Right.
Plus, trading hours are still stuck on these century-old schedules. It's like the world hasn't moved past 9 to 5.
It's true. And what's really fascinating here is that crypto infrastructure, well, it already solved a lot of these exact problems years ago, way before traditional finance even started thinking seriously about digital transformation. Now, thanks to some really crucial shifts in the regulatory environment, that same infrastructure is being deployed much, much wider than just crypto. This isn't crypto trying to become traditional finance. It's more like crypto infrastructure is eating traditional finance from the inside out, a quiet, fundamental re-architecture.
Eating from the inside out. That's quite a phrase. So, okay, what's a concrete example? Where can we actually see this convergence starting?
Well, the initial signs are kind of everywhere once you start looking. Take MEXC, for instance. They're a crypto exchange, huge user base, like 30 million users, and they just launched stock futures.
Stock futures for
Yeah, for major companies, Apple, Tesla, McDonald's, they're bringing traditional assets right into that crypto environment.
interesting. And then on the other side, what about making the crypto bits just disappear for regular users, making it invisible?
Right, and that's where someone like Coinbase comes in. They're rolling out what they call embedded wallets.
Yeah.
These essentially let any app offer financial services with just like a few lines of code. It's the underlying infrastructure doing the heavy lifting, making itself invisible to the person using the app.
Okay, let's really dig into that MEXC example then. Trading Apple stock on a crypto exchange.
Yeah.
That still sounds a bit mind-bending to me. How exactly are they doing that? What's their strategy?
So MEXC describes it as a slow transition. They're moving from being just an offshore crypto exchange towards becoming a, well, universal trading platform. Their stock futures product is the perfect example. It lets users trade U.S. stocks, but using USDT, that's a stablecoin, pegged to the U.S. dollar for the settlement.
Okay, USDT settlement.
Yeah. Think about what that unlocks. It completely cuts out the need for traditional brokerage accounts, with all the paperwork and the delays.
Right, no more waiting days for funds to clear.
Exactly. You're trading stocks directly from within that crypto environment.
But here's where it gets really interesting for me, and maybe the clearest sign of this invisible shift. It's who they're bringing into this model. They've apparently identified 4 pretty distinct user groups driving this. First, the obvious ones. Crypto natives. People who already think in USDT rather than dollars. Then you've got investors in places like Southeast Asia, Latin America, where getting access to traditional brokers might be really expensive or inaccessible.
Makes sense.
Third, younger traders. They just expect financial services to work like smartphone apps, right? Seamless, instant.
Absolutely.
And finally, experienced traders who are just, tired of regulatory hurdles and traditional fee structures, a really broad mix, all finding this new model works better.
And that raises a really important question, doesn't it? Why should crypto users need to constantly exit their native environment just to buy Apple stock? Or why should they have to convert back to USD instead of using USDT, which is already in their wallet? MEXC's answer is pretty clear. They shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
What's also interesting is seeing the convergence from the other direction, too. Traditional brokers are starting to incorporate stablecoin deposits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they realize it's just an easier, faster way for users to get funds into their accounts. It's definitely becoming a two-way street.
Okay, so that's a powerful shift for trading. But what about making crypto itself just fade into the background in everyday apps, making it truly invisible? How does that work? Who's leading that?
Well, that's really Coinbase's big abstraction play. The focus is making crypto infrastructure totally invisible for mainstream adoption, and they're doing it with these embedded wallets. It tackles what product managers often call the developer's dilemma.
The developer's dilemma.
Yeah, it's that tricky choice between wanting full control over the user experience, but also wanting to avoid the responsibility, the regulatory burden of actually holding user funds custody. Historically, if you wanted to offer crypto services in your app, users needed to deal with 12-word seed phrases, browser extensions, constantly clicking approve on modals.
Right, the friction.
Exactly. As Coinbase's Yuga Kohler puts it, that needed a certain level of crypto knowledge just to participate. It created massive friction for anyone outside the crypto bubble.
So wait, if I'm getting this right, with embedded wallets,
Yeah.
the user might genuinely have no idea they're even using crypto. How does that work technically? How do they achieve that invisibility?
Precisely. That's the goal. Embedded wallets completely flip the script. Instead of a seed phrase, users sign in with something familiar, maybe their Google account or just an email address.
Okay, simple sign-in.
And the private keys. They get generated inside what are called secure enclaves. These are special, isolated hardware bits within devices, really hard to tamper with, and it all happens unbeknownst to the user. All the crypto complexity, the jargon, it just vanishes behind interfaces people already know how to use.
Wow.
So developers get total control over the user experience. They can design these smooth, seamless apps. And crucially, they don't have to directly handle the user's funds.
That sounds incredibly powerful for developers.
Yeah.
And it's not just theory, right? People are actually using this tech now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This tech is already powering parts of Coinbase's own products. For example, their main retail app is apparently going to use this soon for DX functionality.
So trading on decentralized exchanges.
Right, letting users trade directly on DXs from the app, maybe without even realizing it's happening on a peer-to-peer network in the background. But the real innovation, as our source highlights, is in the bundled services that come with these wallets.
Bundled services.
Yeah, they often come with built-in ways to get money in on-ramps, ways to swap tokens, even things like earning yield, like 4.1% on USDC rewards, apparently. It creates this kind of one-stop shop. Developers don't need to piece together lots of different services anymore. It makes building these new financial apps much, much easier.
I can definitely see how that simplifies things. But where this convergence gets perhaps most visible and really exciting for me is looking at social applications. Take Coinbase's Base app. The idea is creators can post content and immediately monetize it using embedded financial rails.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker, right? The crypto parts are deliberately played down, de-emphasized. It's all about the content and the transaction, not the blockchain itself.
Yeah, and this really represents a fundamental shift away from the traditional ad models or subscription models for creators. Instead of relying on the platform to pay them, creators can now capture value directly from their audience using programmable money.
Programmable money. What
Yeah.
does that mean in practice?
It means money that can be set up to behave in specific ways automatically. Think automatic royalty splits, or maybe a tip is triggered when someone does something specific, or content unlocks only after a micropayment. We're talking tips, direct purchases, maybe even speculation, all happening right there within the content interface. It's a completely new economic engine for the creator economy.
That could be huge. A totally different way for creators to earn a living. And Zora is another example of this trend, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Zora also foregrounds content monetization while abstracting away the blockchain complexity. Users can interact with digital collectibles, support creators directly without needing to understand anything about the underlying infrastructure. It's focused on the experience, the direct connection.
So stepping back, what are the bigger implications here? This fusion of social and finance. It sounds like it could reshape more than just tipping.
It really could. I mean, potentially, creators could be emancipated from their platforms. They get far more direct control, more ownership over their work and their relationship with their audience and communities. They could develop not just social bonds, but real currencies. Imagine merging content and commerce that seamlessly,
Wow.
where engagement isn't just about likes and shares, but involves direct value exchange built right into the fabric of the community platform.
Okay, so we've seen trading, we've seen social. Now let's shift gears slightly. We're seeing traditional payments companies quietly using the same infrastructure too. Our source points to Remitly. They focus on serving immigrants, overseas workers, people needing to send money across borders. What are the typical problems they face, and how is crypto helping?
Well, think about the traditional ways of sending money internationally. It's often expensive, right? High fees, it's slow, can take days, sometimes even longer, and the currency conversion rates aren't always great.
Yeah, the hidden costs.
Exactly. Remitly's solution here is pretty innovative. They're launching a new wallet. I think it's set for September. It lets users send and receive stablecoins, specifically USDC mentioned, across something like 170 countries.
Okay.
And the key is the recipient can then convert that stablecoin into their local currency with just a single click, apparently at significantly reduced fees. It essentially bypasses the old traditional banking infrastructure entirely. Faster, cheaper, much more efficient for people working globally.
And it's worth stressing, this isn't some small experiment they're running. The ecosystem is mature now. Remitly isn't using some niche tech here. They're using Bridge. That's the same stablecoin infrastructure provider that powers Stripe's crypto payments.
That's right.
So this isn't just a test run. This is production infrastructure handling real money for mainstream users. We're talking serious scale.
And the timing for this wider adoption makes a lot of sense, too. You've had increased currency volatility recently, partly due to global trade policies.
Yeah.
That makes stablecoins look much more attractive for cross-border payments. The Bank for International Settlements even reported that crypto facilitated something like $600 billion in cross-border payments just in Q2 of 2024, mostly USDC and USDT leading that.
$600 billion. Wow.
Yeah. And it goes further. Remitly is apparently even tokenizing parts of its own dollar reserves using stablecoins.
Why would they do that?
For faster fund transfers across time zones and outside banking hours, it means they rely less on having large pools of pre-funded local currencies sitting around in different countries. It boosts their operational efficiency. It's a really smart application of the tech to improve their core business.
Okay, so let's try and connect the dots here. We've looked at MEXC, Coinbase, Remitly. What does it all mean when you bring it together? It really feels like they're all building towards essentially the same endgame, right? These seamless financial experiences where the underlying tech just becomes invisible.
Yeah.
MEXC is aiming for 247, trading across every asset class imaginable. Coinbase pictures social feeds, where paying someone feels as natural as liking their post. And Remitly is showing how these crypto rails can make traditional services dramatically better, faster, cheaper.
Spot on. And this vision, it isn't just wishful thinking. It demands infrastructure that can handle truly massive scale while staying hidden. Coinbase's embedded wallets, for instance, they lean on the same security and compliance systems that run their main exchange, which serves millions worldwide. Remitly, like we said, uses the same stablecoin plumbing that Stripe relies on for huge volumes of merchant payments.
Right.
And crucially, the regulatory side is finally starting to catch up. You've got recent legislation like the Clarity and Genius Acts mentioned in the US. These are providing clearer frameworks, making it easier, for example, for companies to build secure self-custody wallet solutions with more regulatory certainty. That removes some major roadblocks that held back mainstream adoption before.
So what we're seeing emerge here is, well, it's like a completely different operating system for money. That's how it feels. A system where programmable currencies allow totally new economic models, where global settlement takes seconds, not days, and where financial services can just melt seamlessly into almost any application you can think of. That's a truly foundational shift.
And what's really compelling, I think, is that this transition is happening faster than most people realize. Why? Precisely because users don't need to understand the underlying technology. They just need apps that work better than what came before. It's that simple.
Yeah, the user benefit is clear.
Exactly. MEXC users get more things to trade, 24/7. Coinbase embedded wallet users get super smooth onboarding. Creators get direct ways to make money. Remitly customers get faster, cheaper transfers. And the critical point, the thing tying it all together, is that the crypto infrastructure making it all happen remains almost entirely invisible to them. That makes adoption almost frictionless.
So just to wrap up then, what we've explored today is how crypto infrastructure is quietly, almost invisibly changing, well, pretty much everything. From how we might trade stocks to how we send money around the world, even how creators connect with and monetize their audiences online. It's this foundational shift happening just beneath the surface of our digital lives. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. As this invisible financial infrastructure becomes more and more woven into everything we do, reshaping industries we might not have even thought about yet, what responsibilities come with that? With such pervasive yet hidden power? It's definitely something worth pondering as this quiet revolution continues to unfold.